Two people.
Cheers, everybody. Welcome to the Michigan Bros Grow Show, episode 234. As we try to get chat loaded.
Yeah.
It's loaded from
Hope everybody's doing good out there. We got Dangman Dan tonight, Spartan Grown, and Nuttree 420. I'm Big Pone. And yeah, this is the Grow Show. There we go. I got chat up now.
Is it working? I got two people in there. I got Chazmanian Devil and
I think the solar flares are affecting everything.
Oh man, I thought that was days ago. It has to be done by now.
No, I think that's when they were talking about the AT&T outage and stuff. But
I think that is debunked, man.
Yeah, I'm gonna start the show off with some triple burger. I still got triple burger.
Hell yeah, triple burger.
I'm rolling up the number 2 pheno of the Tsunami, the candy grape tasting pheno.
Ooh.
Nice.
I'd love a candy grape right now.
Yeah, it's pretty good.
I was excited. I trimmed up some of my first grown of the cross I did of the. I'm just calling it Orange Vortex for now. It may change, but the Orange Dream Haze crossed the Vortex. Those are the seeds I think I brought you baked that you sent down south. And
okay.
I
like the name Orange Vortex. It's simple. It makes sense. Connects.
Well, I'm saying it's temporary because I haven't done the due diligence of looking it up to see.
Oh, if somebody's done it.
Got it, so I don't know yet.
Now they have.
Yeah, now they have. But anyhow, I smoked that 2 phenos, and the number 2 pheno and the number 1 pheno the one I like the best, the number 1 pheno, I'm very happy with. It's pretty frosty. It's like a. I was trying to tell Emily a little bit earlier. It's like a little bit like almost like a cross between the Cobra Milk and the Orange Dream Haze, because it's like the smooth, heavy smoke kind of the Cobra Milk, or I guess the milky part of the Cobra Milk with Orange Dream Haze. So instead of like Orange Dream Haze, I feel like it's kind of like a bright, almost sometimes astringent orange flavor. Whereas this one is more like, it's not astringent. It's still orange, but it's like maybe cream but yeah, it's just like more, it's less bright in your face orange and more background orange with like a little muted. But the high is really fucking good. It's like a Vortex high. It's like a really heady, like numbness of the face. Not a lot of body, but I did get body. Like I got pain relief out of it, but I didn't get like body buzz at all. It was all in my head. It was all like numb face and like head feeling. So
I like those kind of strains.
Yeah, and they're long lasting too, like a couple hours. I was still, because I was trimming today, so I would smoke it before I started trimming and trim until for an hour or so and feel it making me buzz the whole time, which was pretty nice.
Cheers, Red.
Hey, what's up, guys?
Cheers, Red.
Cheers, guys. Cheers.
What's up, Red?
Hey, Red.
Sorry I'm late. We just got home. Shout out to Mama Red and Daddy Red. I'm not seeing chat whether or not he's in there or not yet.
Not yet.
They made a delicious dinner. So shout out to them for an awesome dinner. I was feeling the FOMO. Becca's in Mexico, and they had a awesome surf and turf yesterday. And Mama Red and Daddy Red brought me over for some crab legs and steak. Ooh. So we had to surf and turf ourselves. Unfortunately, Becca and Fam got the case of Montezuma's Revenge. So their surf and turf may or may not have been better than our surf and turf. But
I'm sure she really appreciates you sharing that.
Dude, it's expected when you go out of the country. It really is for, I mean, if you eat ice or anything like that.
Don't tell me that, dude. I'm going to Spain, bro.
Spartan, I will share with you the traveler's trick is just don't drink the water, don't drink the ice, and eat cooked food that's.
I want to put my face right in the water and get all those microbes all up.
You're gonna come home with some terroir.
That's the biggest thing. And it's like, it's not so much that there's a lot of bad bacteria, but it's that your microbiome just isn't adjusted to the biology in other countries. I mean, that's just bottom line. I mean, it may or may not be bad bacteria, but most definitely it is just your stomach microbe is just not used to the microbes that is going to exist on their food. You know, that's why a lot of stuff gets sterilized and radiated and shit when it comes into our country. Obviously, they want to prevent pathogens and pests from crossing borders, but I mean, that's a big thing too, is just the different microbiome, and that's what happens. I've been around the world, and it's happened to me. I've been to China. That's what you really got to be careful with street foods and things like that. I had the dipped crab apples, and that fucked me up, man. I mean, you would think you would know better about the old dipped crab apple street food, you know. And
crab apples are rough on you to begin with.
I know, right? Yeah, crab apple street food, Beijing. It was good. It was tasty. It was candy, but it hurt for a few days. I mean, even the stuff like a lot of stuff's westernized. You'll find McDonald's, you'll find Burger King and stuff like that. I mean, again, cooked food, so there's a less chance of getting, you know.
Well, I'm going to Barcelona, so it's kind of touristy, and there's gonna be that, but there's also some of the best food in the world too. So
yeah. I mean, yeah. Again, I mean, the locals are gonna take to it a lot better than you will.
Yeah, probably for sure.
But again, it's just biology. It's just simple biology. It's not like it's dirty or pathogenic. It's just the way your I mean, sometimes it is pathogenic, but really, it's you know, it's biology.
Sometimes the McDonald's in other countries are actually better than our own McDonald's. So believe that or not.
I believe
The bar's pretty low.
I was just gonna say, Dan, the bar's not super high, man.
It can be better than here. I mean, definitely, especially tourists. I mean, the food definitely looked delicious. So what they were getting, I would imagine, as far as quality goes, top notch. Cooked food too. I mean, I really wouldn't worry about it. But again, you know,
it's funny that Red's like description of like the quality of food was like cooked too. Like that's a good.
I mean, like if
cooked, please.
Cooked. Assuming that it's cooked, you shouldn't have to worry about lettuce, for example. You really got to worry about things like E. coli.
Yeah, raw vegetables.
You know, whereas if it's cooked, you know, at least if it's hot enough. I mean, want it to be at a good old temperature. You can eat fish raw for the most part. You know,
maybe you can.
Yeah, I'm not eating no raw fish.
Raw fish the other night. I had some.
No, well, you can do that, man. That's cool. Not for this guy.
I'll eat some raw potatoes.
I'm not starving yet. I ain't starved yet, so I'm all right. I want to shout Chance Minion Devil. He said he smoked some Spartan Puke yesterday. Sweet flavor like a sugar cookie. Same terps. Nice buzz. About 2 hour high. Some pink grapefruit taste when I relit. That's awesome. Pink grapefruit. Well, I don't know where the pink grapefruit would come from. Well, citrusy from the vortex, but
yeah, we had some phenos. I could say that, like that boof smell.
Yeah.
You might call that like a grapefruit.
It's like it's interesting that there's more of the grandparents coming out in that, the Space Queen, the berries, and that kind of stuff. Super interesting. It's almost like that. I was talking about this on Cheap Home Grow, that the Donnie side of that cross seemed to be at least the terp-wise and terpene profile seemed to be recessive, because we grew so many and we didn't get anything really Donnie.
Yeah.
The male, that one male, but that was it.
For sure.
Damn.
Yep.
But I've grown one that was pretty Donnie in my own garden, and Lone Star and Larf, the guy who named the strain, both of his were really oniony, he said, which was like that male that we found.
Yeah.
And, he has a hypothesis that all of the ones that were grown that were Donnie related were grown in soil, and all the ones that we grew were in cocoa, and maybe that had something to do with the terpene expression. I'm like, I don't know. But that's a great. I don't know. We have clones, so I can take a clone and bring it home. I'll take that number 4 clone or whatever it was. What was it that we kept? It was the 14.
Oh, 14 and 19.
14 and 19. I'll take that 14 clone and I'll put it in the sip container and see what it does.
Yeah.
See what it comes out like Donnie.
I was thinking about making your place a third or second run place. And at the same time, we tested in organics.
Right.
But that'd be easier than breeding or dealing with breeding.
I like that. And I guess it's
That way we could, because I was literally planted. Let me see if I can find the picture. Planted so many today, and there's still at least 20 more to plant. I ran out of cocoa.
And what? Oh, and you started veg? You mean a veg run?
All the recess. So we
Oh,
have
okay.
over like 30 to 40 phenos. So that's 2 clones per.
Oh, you're right.
And then
30 or 40 phenos of the Spartan
Funk.
Puke.
No,
Oh.
Funk.
So Spartan Puke should only have 2.
This is just Funk, Papa, the Soulfires. Then we have all those cuts from like the run we want to do, like GMO, Bliss. You know what I mean? Like all the cuts we're holding.
Yep.
So yeah, I must have planted like, there's like probably like 30 here, but
So we didn't get in there and get that second flower room going, is what you're saying.
yeah, but then that's why I was thinking about having your place as either a second or third trial run.
Okay.
So we could use it to narrow down even further while running organic and seeing if it's even terpier. But yeah, we'll talk about it. Just a thought.
Did you get a look at that limelight to vortex cross in my flower room? When you
I
came
smelled it.
How
I liked it.
Doesn't it look good? Like I was like, that thing
Yeah.
is beast, man.
Yeah. Yep, that was healthy. Yep. I had to. I was like, oh, I was bending down and feeling. I was like, what's this? Limelights, vortex? Yeah, because I like that limelights a lot. And it kind of did exactly that. It kept the kind of gas lime, and then there's that vortex.
Yep.
So, like kind of berry. I don't know, not really berry, but citrus.
Citrusy, like
Yeah.
And then I got that was a vortex that was right next to it. That's probably the closest one to come down. And then a bliss that just went in.
Yeah. Yep. Okay, that's. I got to see those lights up close.
Oh yeah, what'd you think?
Yeah, I like the tent one. For sure. I mean, they're all fine. They're all bright. They're all, gonna grow. But like, I definitely like that tent one, especially knowing that the par is that even.
Yeah.
That's what sells it for me. Cause I'm not really gonna mess with Spectrum. I'm gonna, if I had Spectrum, it'd be like, all right, I'm gonna find one. That's all I'm gonna run. Cause otherwise, I'll go nuts myself, being like, yeah, every hour I need to change this.
Well, the cool thing is if you wanted to do that, it would just be one time of programming that, and then you walk away, and it does that for us.
Yeah, with the Aldous controller. That was neat. You showed me that. That does make it easy. But yeah, that's the thing that new. I didn't tell you, I got a little Wi-Fi controller for the reef light, LED light.
Yeah.
And it defaults on manual blue or something called. It's called Tuna Blue. The point is, you can then click automatic like daylight Tuna Blue setting, and I did that. And so at 9 in the morning, it turns the light on, and then it turns it on only blue. And then it ramped by noon or 1 o'clock. It ramps it to like blue with white, so it's like daylight looking.
Okay.
And then by 9 p.m. at night, you're back to like really dark blue at night until it shuts off.
It never gets any red.
I think the red is when that daylight comes in. The red comes on. There's a red controller.
Okay.
So these have UV.
Say red 4 times.
I don't know what UV. Red.
Red. Someone say red.
You need a mirror. We need a mirror though. You have to say it into a mirror.
Red.
And then he shows up.
Say it into a mirror.
What if he just showed up with a little seedling?
Yeah.
We started seedling. When you say red 3 times in the mirror, you turn off the lights. Like kids are startled. They're like, I don't want to do it. And the other kid's like, do it, you fucking wuss. Red. And then just this nice guy shows up. Hey, here's a Grateful Dead CD, and they
Weed for
yeah,
you.
some weed.
So they have
How,
a
how
have
old are you? Oh
they
yeah,
have
here
a
you
My
go.
pH
precious.
bottle in their hand, and he slaps it out of their hand.
Yeah.
Get that out of here! What are you doing?
Out of here. Here's weed and a mushroom.
And a cacti.
Grab a cactus.
But yeah, so we got all those reset. We got the I got one more net to put up in the flower room. I did the Papa Burger room, and you and I did the one out there, but I gotta do the other. I just been busy. Yesterday I had to do 20 gallons in the water room or in the flower room.
That's another
So-
thing I keep forgetting about is we got to get that pump down there so we can get water out.
Oh no, we just gotta get hooked up. So remember I had the first person that had quoted me a crazy amount. So then I hit up 2 other people. One never responded. The other
They
responded.
didn't
said-
respond.
Yeah, never got a hey, how you doing or anything.
What the fuck?
So then the other one responded, and I set up a day, and they're like, "Well, we're gonna call you that day to double check before they head out to your spot. You know, some places do that." I'm like, "All right, cool, I'll be there." I was there all fucking day, no call, no show. So that was like 2 months ago before holidays and shit, or around then. Now I need to get back on and call someone else. I think TJ knows somebody, so I might just end up doing that or see if Indica's down for the task. But yeah, we need to do that so that
You charge them consulting fees.
who?
The people that hustled you out of your time.
Well, that's what I'm saying. It's just like that's what I don't understand about this society. It's like everyone works 9 to 5 majorly. They only want to They only want to come out 9 to 5. So you expect people to take off a whole day of work. You don't come on weekends for quotes. And then most of the time I've noticed in the last year or two, they're flaky as fuck. And it's just like, damn, like that's crazy. At least call me and be like, we can't come out. We're working on some other. Lie to me. Tell me you're working on some job, and it ran overtime. I don't care, but like, yeah, it's just a pain. But we gotta get now. At this point, the heater's not even a priority. But the water would be really nice. Get a res out there and get the water going. I gotta get at least. I'm thinking the 30 gal res isn't really gonna cut it anymore. We're gonna need at least 50. So like a 55 drum at the
Or
bare minimum.
230s. You could do 230s as well.
Well, I think it's the same price to buy a 55 as is those 30s.
Oh,
So
okay.
you might as well just get a 55 and put it on those Harbor Freight dolly wheel thing,
Yeah.
and then put a hole in the bulkhead in the bottom. But yeah, we'll figure that out.
A bulkhead. Oh, you want to use? Okay. We don't need to do that. You could just put a sump pump in the damn thing, and we could put a water wand in the end.
Yeah, but if you lift the 55 gal just what, like I think like a foot and a half off, you can put your bucket under it, or a spigot on it.
For what?
Then you don't use electricity.
Oh, jeez.
You just drain into a bucket and go.
And then go what? Hand water?
Well, then later you change the bulkhead from a spigot to you can just hard pipe
Hard,
into your
hard
pump.
pipe it. Yeah.
Oh, we'll figure it out. But that's what I do
Yeah,
for the
well,
fish
but
tanks.
right
They're
there, right
up on a water heater stand they call them. They're aluminum, but
Yeah.
it's the perfect height to fit a 5 gal bucket, where you could just turn a valve and drop water. But we'll figure it out. Everything's tanking along. I do have to go get CO2. Everything was closed today, including that Ace Hardware.
Oh, it was closed today too on Sunday.
Yeah. So I swapped a 20 gal or 20 pound from that room to that because that has more ambient due to the window unit. But it's only 20 pound. It was already used a bit, so I think tomorrow at lunch I'll just go fill all the other tanks.
It's too bad you couldn't film at work off that big giant one.
I've told him we need to look into that because he says he pays too much and he fills it too much. And I'd be like, well, I'll pay, the same price that I pay everywhere else, but just to get it at work would be awesome. It's way closer to the house too.
Yeah.
Yeah, Maya's supply for CO2. Our little grow house is shutting down here, so I don't have to find it.
Damn.
Yeah,
That's
damn, I'll probably have
what
to drive to
happened here,
Traverse City.
dude. Everything shut down. So like before I moved here, there's 1, 2, 3, 4. But by the time I moved here, there's only 2, Capital and Migro. And now Capital shut down, and Migro got bought by GrowGen. And
And it's
GrowGen came in, and I think I complained about this last time. They came in, and people are gonna hate this, but they came in with none of the good corporate qualities, aka like people always being there, it being open past 5, or 5:30, so you can actually get there after work.
Yeah.
It be, stuff like that. Having price tags actually where the fucking item is, so you don't have to ask, hey, how much is this? And then they're like, hey, bring it over to the desk and we'll look
them
it up.
asking you your phone number every time.
That's what I'm.
you get
Yeah.
an account
So
and
you get all the
discounts.
bad shit from the corporate and none of the good shit. And part of that is just like, yeah, having only one place to get CO2 too. And the other thing, that's the thing, you don't get the good things. So they've
There's
always
always-
been closed on Sundays. Sundays, I'm off. I can go there every Sunday. That'd be great. Nope, they're closed. GrowGen buys them. I'm like, all right, sweet. They're at least going to be open a short period of time on Sunday, like most businesses. Nope, still closed. So, yeah, so it's just a pain in the butt, and yeah, it's just like Red, like Red has a solution. You get the CO2 burner. I do have natural gas, but like I'll look into that when Mighty Grow is gone or something like that, since I have the tanks.
I'm
but-
telling you, dude. My gas bill in the summertime is nin.
yeah,
Like, nothing. I paid
yeah.
little to nothing on gas, and I guarantee that the size of my space, the amount of BTUs that are going in that room, are not affecting it.
Well, like I mean, it's not the price. It's the point you made of. It's more of convenience. It's like, first of all, you don't really know when it's gonna go out on a tank. Like there is a little meter, but really it's just.
Yeah, it's just
It's
not
something and then
dispensing.
zero. Yeah, so you're just like, all right, it's out. So you don't really know when it's gonna go out. Then you have to go, and like I said, now there's only one place for me to go, 6 days out of the week, and it's just a pain in
There's
the
a
butt.
couple other places in town, but yeah, they're probably
Well,
only. open.
yeah. Well, the other Ace Harbor is closed today too. So
There's
that was
an
the
actual
problem.
industrial supply, the one that supplies all, like, because they use 20-pound CO2 tanks in like restaurants, any place that has the soft drink.
Yeah.
It's like
Yeah.
DOT gas or something like that. So there's
My only advice for anybody who has tanks, just as a courtesy for yourself, for anybody who enters your facility and even your neighbors that might be outside or even sleeping in their home, put a chain around your tank and chain it to the wall. Just chain that fucker to the wall. It can turn into a rocket. It'll take out your neighbor's dog or possibly the children. Just chain that fucker to the wall. That thing turns into a rocket. Very easy. A 20-pound tank can do it. A 40-pound tank, most certainly. 50-pound tank. Those fuckers are no joke, man. You all saw Jaws? That fucker fucking rocketed into the jaws, blew up, like shot it with a fucking rifle. But you know how it goes. No,
Good
seriously.
bit of advice, though.
Those things, if you work in any restaurant, factory, shop, anywhere, that is an OSHA regulation. You must have those chained to a wall. That's a safety regulation. You have to have those things chained to the wall. I always say put all your ducks in a row. Everybody was it's been a topic of conversation. To prevent HLV, have a 10% bleach solution. That 10%, that's not just a arbitrary number. That's a FDA guideline. You don't have to have sanitizer solution. You need bleach, 10% solution in water, and you should have test strips that test that. That's ducks in a row. That's not, that's just simple stuff. Chain on your tank, even wearing non-slip shoes and simple stuff like that, just to get ahead of the curve of safety.
Big non-slip shoe guy. We gotta get new Crocs for the
Crocs, non-slip Crocs.
Yeah, they're called Bistros.
I'm a hypocrite on that one, but at the same time, that's definitely one of those things. You never know, man. Anything could knock over a tank. That's big accident waiting to happen.
It's something we got. Yeah, we could definitely plan for. We'd have to get into the studs though. But an eye bolt, maybe in 2 studs, and then a chain with a carabiner. Yeah.
2 carabiners, a chain. Just carabiner that sucker up about midway up so it can't tip or teeter. That's really. You don't want it to be able to slide out from underneath either, but tipping and teetering.
Yeah, good middle height.
It's far enough away from your house. You're good. Don't worry about it. As long as it gets away from your house, and you're okay.
Insurance will cover the rest.
Yeah.
Hole
But,
in the wall. Why was that hole in the wall? I'm not gonna. Never mind. That's a bad joke. I'm sorry.
We got extra panels. Remember, we got extra panels. We just fill holes with extra panels.
Wall that was supposed to be the size of something that was bigger than just a random hole, but it was just a hole. So yeah.
oh, damn. What's that?
Hole? What's a
Cam cookies.
Nice. That's what I thought you were going to say. Oh.
Stanky.
How's your seedlings, Red? All the archive and all the genetics.
The second round that is, I guess, now like 2 weeks old. I just up potted them maybe 3 days, 3 or 4 nights ago, something like that. I think it was Wednesday night. I think it was while I was listening to Let's Be Bud. So it might have been Wednesday night. No, Becca was in Mexico. It was Friday night. I think it was Friday night. Listening to variables. Maybe that's what it was. And anyways, so I potted those. The other round is actually looking. They're well, I planted them at the last full moon, so they're officially one moon cycle through. Considering yesterday was our full moon, no moon was yesterday, so I'd call them. They're about 4 or 5 nodes, 6, 7 inches tall. They're probably a week away from getting a cutting on a few of them taken, which I'm really excited for.
Yeah.
Which means I might actually be able to start pheno hunting. We're on 18-day, 18 plant cycle right now. So every 18 days, a 18 plant rotation takes place. Whether that's in that rotation, that is a full flip. That's a up pot. That's a transplant from clone to veg. That's an up pot from baby veg to teenage veg, and then that's a take clones from the moms. That's all that every 18 days. So I'm hoping to get about 18 of these new phenos in on the next clipping, which would only be in 8 days. So I don't think it'll be then. So it might end up being in a couple weeks. So we'll see when that one goes. But then I had, like I said, on the last round, I think I did 40 seeds and I had 37 come up. And all those packs are like 4 to 5 years old. Certainly the blueberries sourced in like 2019, the Durban Margie, the Tropicana cookies, all those are all sourced in like 2019. So I did, the only ones that I didn't get all 5 to pop on was the blueberry. I only got 4 out of 5 to pop. The Tropicana cookies, I only got 4 out of 5 to pop. And the rainbow belts, I only got 4 out of 5 to pop. And I would say that on my other round, the ones that so far looked the strangest would probably be the rose gold. I've had some like segregated leaves on the rainbow belts, but they seem to have grown out of it. Something happened in the root cube. They got too moist. I think I talked about it a little bit last week, a little bit too wet. I think that the tap root was getting a little bit too, I don't know. They do this thing where these root cubes will actually, these square cubes will actually air prune. So I have a really nice photo that I did not post. Let me see if I can pull this up and just show you on my phone real quick.
Red, Becca has asked in chat, how are her herbs? And Susan has already answered for you and said, sorry, Becca, they are dead.
Really good. The herbs do look really good. They let's see here. I don't know if you can see that.
Yeah.
So all those roots, that's a seedling.
That's cool. I love your root blocks.
Yeah, and actually a couple of them were even more spread out than that. I mean, they look like a clone coming out the bottom. So yeah, these are cube or soil blocks. And notice I can pick up that whole, that's just a plug of soil. That's just soil, loose soil in a mold, and it's been, formed like a sandcastle, and it holds its shape very, very well. Obviously there's moisture to it. It's at field capacity. So if I squeezed it, a little bit of water would puddle in my knuckles, but I go a little bit past field capacity, a little bit of drip coming down just to ensure that they are wet enough. And then I've been doing that when I up pot also. taking all of my medium to field capacity before putting it in my pot, rather than adding dry medium to my pot and hoping to moisten the entire thing properly, and hope to not overwater it. I just take, my mix and I wet it down while I'm mixing it, and I get it to field capacity, and then I put it in the pot, and then I transfer it. And then I don't even have to worry about watering. I will water, but just to like really settle it, like watering will kind of settle the plant in a little bit nicely.
Are you charging the water with anything at all, or just straight water?
C90 for some minerals. I did use recharge because I was out of BioLive, but I picked up some BioLive and mixed it in my potting mix, so I haven't used any more recharge lately. But we started using recharge out. We took the recharge out to the farm, and we're going to use it out in our hydro, see how it works.
I like it.
Seems to be working okay.
It stains easily. Like when you mix it, it stains shit pretty easy if you have light colored things. But it works good. The plants like it.
Yeah,
I just used to sprinkle a little bit in the soil instead of put it in the res or whatever, because I noticed too it does stain a lot of things easily. But you can always just sprinkle a little bit in there in the soil. I feel like before you water, and do it that way.
Becca's having a panic attack in chat because I've got the chats and the bearded dragon and changed the water. Been collecting. Actually, I just got home, so I didn't get the eggs today. But I also have to close our.
Where's the dog?
I've got spinach outside in the ground, and I have to close the cold frame. Also is open, but I should go do that shortly. It's probably going to drop in temperature in the next hour. These last couple nights, our temps are like in the teens, maybe low 20s, and then we're above freezing, and like our lows are in the 40s, like next week and the week after. So it's cold frame season. It's officially get cold crops in the ground season. If it drops below 20 or something, we'll double layer with. We have the stuff. I'll show you here. It's right next to me. It's called Agribond, and then we got some stuff for. Right now, really, season extension would be plastic, and then as we get a little bit warmer, would be the Agribond. Agribond's going to protect from a frost. The plastic's really going to help protect from like snow and deep freezes and stuff like that. So if we do, I'm expecting more snow. So I'll put plastic on for right now, but low tunnels, and then believe it or not, I mean, tomatoes, potatoes, you can get all that stuff in the ground. In early May, late April, if you wanted to, even cannabis. And I'm going to try it with the cannabis in the low tunnel system. The only issue is the daylight will not be out. So I have to do some sort of candle lighting or throw up an LED light or something out in the garden. But we're going to try to get our outdoor cranking as early as possible. We already have spinach in the ground, and it's survived so far the last few nights of teen temperatures, not teenage, teens. Temps.
I looked outside and saw my garlic went through all these low temps just fine. I was like, sweet.
Yeah, garlic is sprouting, man. Lower Michigan, the garlic is sprouting.
I got daffodils about ready to fucking bloom. I've got tulips popping through already, coming up.
Oh, the poor tulips.
Strawberries already peeking out.
My strawberries haven't even died. They've been green all winter.
Yeah, my strawberries I've been throwing oak leaves over top of them to keep them up from under get frosted up, and they've been fine.
Our big bed of strawberries died back, but like I've got strawberries in our path. But the ones in the pathway, like maybe it's because they're in wood chips. Maybe the wood chips helping insulate or something, but it's like they're holding.
Yeah, they're probably breaking down, so it's like a mulching, so it's probably staying warmer.
Wood chips. It's a good time right now, guys, to sign up for your chip drops. We just got a load. I got about 10 yards for free. 10 yards of wood chips, and they're nice looking wood chips. Went out and checked on them. They're fucking nice, dude. They delivered that shit. We weren't even home. You can leave instructions on where you want them delivered. Even if you are home, there's a good chance they won't even knock on the door anyway. They just drop that shit in your driveway. So if you are home, you might want to pay attention so they don't like bury your car. They will put them in front of your, like they'll just drop. If you don't specify where you want them, they'll like put them at the bottom of your driveway. So chip drop so far for us has been a good service. We haven't had any issues. I'm going to sign up again for for our residents here and another one out at the shop. I'm super geeked that we got one
Other than not turning it off.
turning the chip drop off and it just keeps reloading.
Well, when they kept delivering and you forgot to tell them to stop.
Last one was we had a drop scheduled, and I went to the arborist down the street that was doing work, and I was like, "Hey, will you come drop your chips in our driveway?" And then we got a load that day, and then 2 days later, chip drop came through. Chip drop was going to come through, and I never canceled it.
Yeah.
I was like, "Oh, I'll get these chips out of here, no
Just
problem."
make sure you cancel.
And then that one will come. I was thinking a couple more weeks because it had been like a month. And that's the other thing. You don't know how long it's going to take to get your chips. You could be first in line. You could be 50th in line. And the arborist has to sign up. And it is nice to give them a tip. You can give Chip Drop a tip to tip the arborist because you really don't communicate with the arborist. They can call you and email you. You can get their information. So I do have the arborist information that did drop, in case there's any issues, insurance or anything like that, damages. Yeah, get wood chips. Abundance is everywhere. And that's definitely one of those things that I used to spend a decent chunk of money on for my pathways every year because I would expand my garden and I would try to catch them on sale. And like the sale would run out, or the supply would usually, like, once the end of May comes, like the wood chips that you're looking for me, it was the ones that were not dyed. They were like just the cypress mulch, basic shit. They'd be gone. You know what I mean? I wouldn't have any supply. So it's a good time to get, especially if you get it for free. You're not spending $2. I mean, literally the stack that's in my driveway, I easily have $100, $150 worth of wood chips in my driveway, easily. And that'll happen a couple more times this year. And I mean, we're doing probably a quarter to a half acre in garden space this year. We're doing 4 different plots, 4,000 foot plots. So in the range of about 5,000 feet. So about an eighth acre to start. We got up to about a quarter acre. Yeah, I think about a quarter acre is where we'll finish out at.
Did you buy yourself a tiller?
No, we don't really need a till out there. It's very sandy.
Okay.
It's very sandy. This shit it's very
broad forks. He's a broad fork.
You're gonna
broad fork.
Get Ruben all laced up and have him pull the rake.
I've got a sickle. I got a sickle for him. I've got or is it a scythe? No, the scythe is the thing. What is it? It's the
scythe is what the Grim Reaper has.
With the sickle, maybe it's the sickle that fucking plows. I don't know. One of those fucking things plow. The scythe is the Grim Reaper's blade. The sickle is also a blade. The sickle's a curved blade.
I think it's a curved blade too. Yeah, like a harvester
blade. What is it called? It's called a reaper. That's what it is. The reaper is the plow. Plow is the reaper. The ground is relatively, I mean, it's really just full of crabgrass, and we have a lot of these autumn olives. They're gonna come. I'm probably gonna keep a couple of them just for, as a perennial. They get really big, but they also have really delicious berries on them. They're called autumn olive, but they're these little red sweet berries. They look like puke berries, but they're edible and they're delicious. They have little like marbling. Yeah, there's a seed in them, but there's almost like a marbling, like how like a jalapeno will get that like cracking. These berries have like a little cracking texture to them, almost like a callousing on the outside, but it's not hard at all. It's soft skin. But anyways, I got a tarp. I got a silage tarp. I'm gonna 30 by 30 foot. So that's why I'm gonna start just 900 square feet at a time. Just because of cost, these things aren't cheap. That 30 by 30 foot tarp is like $120 or some crazy stupid.
Oh, yeah.
It's like $70 or something like that. But after shipping, nothing's cheap to ship. The tarp will go down in February, so now it needs to go down now. And it'll take about 6 or 8 weeks for the tarp to go down. I'll broad fork after that, and I'll basically rake out and shape permanent beds from there, 30 inches wide. I'll give myself a footpath somewhere between 18 inches and 20 inches, depending on what I can't decide on if I want to do a mulch footpath or if I want to have a living footpath, and I'm leaning towards living footpath. If I do a living footpath, I'm gonna have to figure out a way to mow that down, and running a lawnmower on a 1 foot pathway, I can't get a 1 foot wide lawnmower.
You need to rent yourself some goats.
I'd use a weed whip. I could use a goat on a chain with with stanchions. I need stanchions running, and I could run the goats down the middle. I think that the best bet is to do like a 20-inch pathway if I want to do living beds, so I can get a 20-inch lawnmower down. That way I can bag it. That way I can compost and utilize those clippings. I would just use a weed whip, but I feel like one quick, what's that, honey? With the weed whip, and there goes the tops of my broccoli. You know what I mean? So that's something that I would definitely
if you stick with wood chips, or you could do some wood chip rows and then inoculate those wood chips with mushrooms and get production out of the pest as well.
And I thought about doing wood chip rows for that reason. I also thought about doing wood chip rows just for the carbon, and then just like turning those into living pathways over time. I don't know. I might start with just wood chips and then eventually get them in. But the big thing is like, how wide do I? Because these are permanent beds. I'm not going to reshape these every year. I'm going to reshape them once, and so I don't want to.
Wider's better.
I think wider's better too.
Like in a grow room, just like in a grow room, if you can give yourself more space, it's going to be better just for you to work. Wider's be better for you can get a garden cart down instead of just a wheelbarrow. It's going to be.
Well, what we do here is we have. So we'll have our garden cart paths, and then we'll have like a couple beds that have thinner paths that like a cart can't necessarily get down. So you can like have your cart at least close by, or at least at the end of the row. Like one thing will be like the end of the row is a wide path, and then like the length of the rows are short or narrow. The only thing that I think of when I say that is if I do 12-inch path, not 12 inches kind of matter, if I do 18-inch pathways versus 24-inch pathways, then I think for every 4 beds, I'm missing out on or every 6 beds, I'm missing out on a full bed. And when you're talking about production beds, each bed can give you, I think, $700. Just throwing arbitrary numbers out there, but let's just say each bed gives you $500 per rotation. You can rotate that bed 4 times a year. Yeah, that's potentially $2,000 a year that you could be giving up just because of of a wider pathway. So that's kind of where I'm thinking. I just have to do a bunch of math. It's all going to depend on the final size of the plot, how many beds I want, how many beds I find is a minimum that I need. And then if I can reach that number, I can go, okay, cool. I can just have a wider pathway, but I really like the idea of getting a lawnmower down those paths. And I do like the idea of getting my cart down those, or even a wheelbarrow or something down those paths. So I think that maybe it's worth the cost. I don't know. It's a $2,000 cost. You know, if you
can rent one of them DR trimmer mowers with the big old chopper on the front.
No, I would also argue though that speed of production is going to increase for the wider row. So that $2,000 you're going to recoup some, and just your overall efficiency, being able to move down those rows way easier, and with carts and tools and things. Mm-hmm. I don't know. I think it's a wash, honestly, one way or another.
It is, I think. It is, because we're talking like beds that are 25 feet long. A normal market bed will be 50 to 100 feet for our scenario. I'm doing 25 because I like the idea of putting paths. I like the idea of access. I like that access idea. That alone, the additional pathways for doing 25-foot beds is going to take some away. But I also am doing something that most market gardeners don't do, which is the permaculture introduction, and that's having hedgerows. And so basically the whole perimeter of the garden will be a hedgerow. And then
for windbreaks.
A couple of things: pollinator, windbreak, buffers from neighbor farms, a place to keep bird houses, a place to keep bees, bee boxes, things like that, beehives. And then like every 8 to 10 garden rows, there would essentially be another like hedgerow. And the hedgerow isn't hedges, but perennial plants of some sort. Whether there's a fruit tree in there, obviously you have to deal with shade with fruit trees, but other like perennial type bushes. And I mean, no matter what you put in there, it's going to get probably 6 to 8 feet tall as perennials. I mean, even if you put a cannabis plant in there as an annual, it's going to get 6 to 8 feet tall. So, I'd probably put things like some pollinator attractors, just the main essence of biodiversity, and certainly herbs, the perennial herbs like lavenders and yarrows and even the high annuals and things like that to bring
even flowering herbs like sage and stuff like that would bring a lot of those pollinators in. That's what I found when I had an herb garden. My pollinators went nuts. Not only just bees, but like the wasps and all kinds of crazy, awesome stuff.
Those ones are the best because those are going to be perennial too. So I plant them once. You can usually propagate them hella easy. You only need a couple, especially like lavender too. Like you get a lavender plant, it throws out 20 shoots. Next year you have 20 lavender plants because you propagate them so efficiently. And then that's a great one because it's also going to help repel deer and other maybe varmints that you might be getting in your, I don't know, look into lavender for your voles and moles issue because that's a big one.
I think that was one of them.
Dandelions, or not dandelions, it was daffodil.
There's daffodils, but then there was something that started with a C, I think.
Calendula?
No.
It was, I don't recall, no.
I'll find out.
There wasn't coneflower either.
No, because I want some of that though.
That's a good that's a good like mid-level.
Daffodils.
About 4 feet tall.
Castor beans.
Like these, like, what is it? It's the
it wasn't C, it was marigolds.
Oh, marigolds. Yeah,
Yep.
which is good for a lot of things in the garden.
Crown imperials.
And I agree with Red. They're very coneflowers or echinacea are really good for you.
How about Fertalia?
Never heard of that one.
Yeah, it's exotic, it says.
Oh, it's an exotic. All right.
Yep. First described in Europe, 1571. Pretty neat little.
That go pretty old school if it's from 1571.
Let me show you.
And then I'm really getting into conifers, dude. I'm like obsessed.
I like the conifers.
I'm like obsessed with conifers right now, and I really just want.
That's kind of neat.
I really want a tree.
It's a lily.
I want an orchard tree garden with fruit trees and conifers. Like really,
Yeah, it's from the lily order.
really just all trees because I fucking love that you can get like sugar.
I gotta get a fruit tree. Now that you mentioned
Yeah,
it.
sugar tree and fruit trees sound awesome to me.
It was Stark Bros and somebody else.
Maple. I have a really nice walnut tree, and from my understanding, you can get syrup out of walnut syrup's really good.
Walnut syrup, huh?
Yes, it makes a really nice syrup out of black walnut trees.
Those are like baseballs falling when they're dropping.
Yeah.
So cool. Shout out to my neighbors they've got the little walnut picker upper, the little wire ball, and they're out there going in the yard picking them all out.
I love going out in the yard this year, and they're gone, dude. They're just like those things. Just squirrels, deer. Everybody came and got a piece.
Shout out to Anything Grows. She's got, I think we counted maybe three maple trees in her yard, and she's talking about. She said she's wanting to get a tap out there and start.
That's awesome. I've got a giant
tapping trees,
and it's lifting my sidewalk. It's like in my easement, like the front yard easement between the sidewalk and the street. So it's like, I don't know. It's just been drinking road water forever. So I'm like really hesitant on tapping it, but I really just want it. It's a fucking huge tree.
Tap it.
I really
got deep ass roots. It'll be all right.
I'm thinking about it. It's just like
the deeper the roots, the more it got to be filtered to get to it.
Yeah.
Water's going to the drain in front of my house. It's not going into the concrete into the ground. It's going into the drain, so it's probably fine. It's probably overthinking it. My neighbor does use
Roundup.
Yeah, whatever stuff the grass company comes out and sprays in his yard.
Oh.
That
Really?
But we have tons. You know the whirly birds? They fall.
Yeah, maple
Where they fucking
helicopters.
drive people crazy. I have little, I don't know, maple saplings. They're everywhere. Well, they were until Ruben got a hold of half of them. But I want to dig them up and get them going. And I kind of want to start like potting some of them up and bonsaiing them and like having these trees for legacy, like gifts to my children.
That's cool.
Here's a tree. I grew this 40 years ago. Hold it for the next 40 years. Pass it on.
Or I'm going to haunt you in the grave.
Yeah.
Dude, some bonsai is so fucking cool. Like the tree was
you die.
Like this bonsai tree. This is just, you know, whatever. There is one that's, you know, plenty older, but, you know, just for sake of conversation, like let's just say that it was potted up and started being trained in the 1800s. But that tree was dug up, right? And that tree was already like 50 or 60 years old, or in some cases 100 years old. So like some of these bonsai trees are like hundreds of years old, and they've been manicured for at least the last 150 years with hands. Prior to that, just sculpted by nature, and are still alive and still cared for. And I think that that's just incredibly that's impressive. It's very impressive to keep something alive for that long, generationally, or however it's passed through, whether it's passed down you know, that a business entity ends up owning it or something like that. It's impressive that it can be cared for, because I've definitely killed trees. You know what I mean? You can kill a tree, you can overwater a tree, you can underwater a tree. They don't just grow off of neglect. I mean, they can grow off of neglect, but they need a type of care over the course of a decade or 2 decades. They will rot, you know, if you don't care for them. So super cool. I respect the art of not just bonsai, but like, what is that? Just horticulture practiced, basic gardening, you know, whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If you have like a house plant, even if you've had a house plant for years and years and years, that's pretty awesome. You have to give a shit.
You do. Yeah.
Yep.
Some people have mom plants for quite a long time. Not my personal choice.
No. Rotate that shit.
Yep, I like just chopping off their heads and making those babies. Reset them. No point in keeping it alive for too long. I'm excited. Did you see? I'm sure you did see, Bake, those shit, I can't think of the name of them now. The 4 plants that I have going, that those seeds I just popped. The newberries. See how big the fucking leaves are on those things?
Oh yeah.
It's just like
were those the 2 in the 1 sip?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I've got 2 sets of 2 of them. So the back 2 sips were all newberries, but they're all like not even a foot tall, but they have these big freaking leaves as big as my hand on them.
Gotcha.
They've only been topped once.
Huh.
They just didn't want to fucking grow after that. So that's, I don't know. I thought newberry would be more sativa-esque and wanted to jump out of there, but it seems to be growing more sativa, or it's growing more indica. Big fat leaves and short, stocky. Did not expect.
Yeah, I mean, that's blueberry though.
Yeah, but it's blueberry crossed to a fucking not a haze. Maybe it wasn't a haze. But
Yeah, but yeah, I'm sure that's just, you're just getting the pheno variation there. Just like you got the Donnie smelling vortex out of, so we popped, 20 here, and it was actually the 21st at your house that had the Donnie in it.
Yeah.
That's it's just kind of like the lotto, like, oh, You know, you didn't win on those 10 scratch offs because the next guy that came in bought the 11th off that
Yeah.
roll one or whatever. That kind of stuff. But yeah. I'm a little distracted. You guys said trees, and now I'm looking at Stark Bros and Cummins Nursery because we got last year they were sold out by the time I thought about this.
Oh yeah, you're looking for the apple tree. You're looking for a good honey crisp.
Yeah, Stark Bros I could get. And it says here you need a pollinator, but as long as it's just cross pollination. So it says you can
have one. You don't need that kind of apple tree though. It could be any kind of apple tree.
That's what I'm saying. So like
Your
I'm
neighbor.
gonna get a honey crisp, a Kinder crisp, and a crimson crisp.
Yeah,
Ooh,
And that should be good. I don't think any neighbors have anything around here. They're kind of old, and the other ones that aren't old aren't into gardening.
Baked has made war with all of them.
I made war with all of them, but I definitely don't like them. Well, they're rude. Like right now, I could get my camera, I walk out, go to the other side of my fucking yard. There's a big, I think it's called an evergreen tree. So
Yep.
it blocks everything. I'll walk right behind it right now. There's a half a cement block with paint all over, red paint. There's a fucking paint can, and they were painting something 2 feet into my yard. You know it's in my yard. You know what you're doing behind a tree. You're a dirty son of a bitch. So, like it's yeah, I've caught them using my trash. Like they're just disrespectful people. They have so much trash in their car. When they get out of their car on a windy day, that shit goes into my yard. So every time I mow, there's Snicker bars, there's receipts. It's like clean your shit up. But I don't like that neighbor. And the other neighbor's old as sin. I don't mind her. She's just old. She doesn't bother anybody.
Does that neighbor have animals too? Or no?
Which one? The one I don't like?
Yeah.
Yeah, they got a little chihuahua. It's like 5 pounds. And I don't mind the dog, though. The dog is what it is. So when I had your dogs this week, I'd walk them around the whole yard. And it just so I didn't train your dogs. Boris his poo spot was literally on the fence line next to their driveway. Like right there is whenever we passed there, he'd have poo. So there's a good bunch of big old poos there for them. If maybe they'll step in some.
You're probably feeding him fucking treats and training him and shit. You're like,
it was hilarious. I was smiling my ass off when he first did it. I was like, excellent timing, dude. But yeah, this year I want to do the apple trees, and then I want to actually get some fucking native plants in that little square I made in the middle. That's just because I basically made like a 30 foot by 10, 15 foot square that I just didn't touch last year in the middle of the grass. And I let it grow, the grass as tall as it wanted to die, do whatever the fuck. I tried to put some plants in there, like seeds, and then some little startlings. But nothing took. I don't know if they got eaten or what, but
you should do just randomly in there. Just do like some permaculture stuff, like an elderberry plant, maybe a couple blueberries or raspberries, stuff that's all native. And if it took off, it'd come back year after year.
Yeah.
1 minute to hashtag.
And you could eat that shit, like the raspberries and the blueberries and the elderberries. You want to make into a syrup.
Well, I also want to do, I think, raised beds, because if I do raised beds and then I nail posts to the corners, I can kind of maybe make a makeshift chicken wire guard against the deer. And I can do potatoes. And that's all I want to do. Potatoes, my own potatoes. And then I also I don't think I'll get to it this year, but I want to do my grapes. I want to do you have to make a trellis and all that. The problem with grapes too is how am I going to protect that from the deer? That's a long, thing to protect. Other than
22.
yeah, well, yeah, dude. I went out there in the middle of the night. I had to do some watering, and I'm still, mind you, like we talked about earlier, I'm still hauling buckets from my house to a disconnected garage, and I'm in the middle of the dark, and there's like a half a moon or something. I'm just like, I'm kind of looking. I set the buckets down, and then I realized there's like 2 deer silhouettes like 50 feet away, just staring at me like, "What are you doing?" I'm looking back like, "What are you doing? Like, don't come over attacking me." I've heard deer can attack. So
Dude, when I came over last to pick up the dogs, there was a fucking deer in your neighbor's yard that you don't like.
yeah.
Eating the fucking rice, like its face was like perfect level for the bird feeder and was just chomping out of the bird feeder. And then it just looked at me like a deer in headlights as I drove by. And then I
Yeah.
scared 2 more. Then they ran through your yard towards the main road there that way.
Yeah, if you go, I'll show you one day. If you go over there, they have literally made a trail through the little, it's like woodsy area that kind of separates my house from the blue house there.
Yeah.
And yeah, that's their, and I hate that because that's why I can't wait to at least fence off that, because that's gonna save maybe an accident or 2 every year, because they go that way to cross that main road to go over to I guess there's a field near the school or something. I don't
You
know.
think a fence is gonna stop a fucking deer, dude? That's not gonna do shit.
I think it's gonna deter them to go around or go somewhere else.
Or just jump over it.
I don't think they're gonna be jumping over 6. I know we looked it up,
I've
but I don't think.
fucking
I
seen it
don't
with my
think.
own eyes.
I don't think Yeah, but how many times you get deer in your backyard?
Them
No, because I got a
motherfuckers
dog
will
back there.
spring
Boys
over
can eat their
anything if
fucking
they're
ass.
scared.
They don't get in my backyard. I've
You
had
don't.
them. I get them in my front yard a lot.
That's what I'm saying. They could easily jump over your fence and go get your vegetables. They don't know that there are dogs back there. I'm just saying. I think it would deter them. But
I'm trying to figure out what we're gonna do in ours. The whole area that I'm trying to plant stuff is just bedded down. It's just there's so many deer bed spots and there's deer shit.
yeah, yeah, and deer shit everywhere.
Every shit. I mean, it's gamey over there. A lot of stuff. I mean, it's right by him. Road too. I've had deer get hit. I've had what I assume is truck tire marks, just tire marks going across, all the way around my back.
Skid marks.
Yeah, harvesting animals off my backyard. Like, dude, you're driving over my septic tank. Come on, man. That one was the only time I was really annoyed. So there's like a bunch of deer fur and blood and shit like that. And then there's like tire tracks.
Well, it's a shame because you're a fellow hunter and you wouldn't do that to somebody else's property.
No, dude.
It's
pull off the side of the road. Pull off the side of the road. And, I mean, don't just drive on somebody's yard.
No, absolutely not,
dude.
First of all, you need to get permission to be on the property to retrieve your animal. Actually,
some people have no sense. I don't know. I don't know. I pick up beer cans out of my front yard all the fucking time. People just always throwing beer cans out their cars. It's a totally different world over there. I don't know. It's McDonald's bags over here and beer cans over there. It's the same world. It's just a different culture, I guess. It's just nobody has any regard for anybody else's anything.
Red, or not red, baked. Well, actually, I could do this too. But the solution for the deer and the grapes is to go height. You go up, so you could go off the front of your porch, maybe your back porch, and put your trellis there and have the stalk you train the stalk up the post until it gets to the high trellis, and then it'll just trellis off of the height, and you can harvest from your back porch. Your deer can't reach it.
I wonder if I have enough light for grapes back there, though. That's the thing.
Yeah,
I'm talking about putting all this stuff in the grassy area where the sun is.
Oh, I see. Okay.
But yeah, I mean, that's an idea. I just have never looked up how much light grapes need. I guess they're in vineyards. You're talking the middle of a field, so.
Yeah, I'm seeing a lot. Yeah, I'm thinking they need a lot.
But that's something to figure out.
Are the deer going to go after the leaves of the plant, the vine of the plant, the grape, the whole thing?
I think they're going to eat it all.
And they for sure go after grapes? Is that the thing that they...
They eat all fruits and vegetables as far as I know.
They eat fucking birds. They eat all kinds of.
Yeah, let me look. Do deer eat?
I mean,
You can get
What
that
if-
picture. You see that picture of
Yeah,
deers eating
deer
birds?
eat grapes and grapevines. It can especially be a problem when the vines are young. What about potatoes?
the old dude
Yeah.
across the
Will
street,
they dig them up?
he never
They
had.
won't dig them up, but they'll eat the tops.
I'm
Yes,
kidding.
they do. They especially like the sweet potato variety. They also eat other potatoes, including toxic potato leaves, if hungry enough.
What about garlic? Will they eat garlic?
Garlic? Let's check it out.
I
Onions?
bet
See
you
what this deer
marigolds and
should
garlic
do.
are safe.
I
Marigolds
know
and
they
garlic.
eat cannabis.
I
We'll
feel
go
like-
ahead and get that off rep.
I feel like onions, garlic.
Smelly, strong tasting plants, onions, garlic, leeks, chives, dill, mint, and fennel are not preferred by deer.
Okay, cool. Because I have some just out in the yard without.
Oh, my dill. That's why the deer don't come in my backyard. 'Cause
Yeah,
it's
your dill's probably reeking back there, so
Yeah,
that's
dude.
cool.
Okay, all right. See, now that's one of the things that you can do is repel them. You know what I mean? If they're coming in for something, you can throw a bunch of deterrents.
I got plenty of dill
You know
seed.
what?
Holy shit.
There's other wild.
You're gonna have Ruben out there. Ruben's gonna be running around defecating all over your yard, leaving his scent. That's gonna deter them too.
Even if he had really good recall, I just don't want him on. I mean, really got to put in like a fence around that whole yard, honestly, to let him do that.
Yeah,
It's on like one of those main roads that's like 55 miles an hour.
right on.
So it's just semis and shit driving by. And at the moment he's chasing cars. So I'm like I have a hold on him, but he's like, so it would get to the point where like he will sit when a car comes by and kind of get scared for a second, but he's slowly learning. And I know
sure.
he'll get that recall. And I really want him to like be good like that, to just run around and keep the deer out of there. It's just such a bad spot. I really wish
For
it was
sure.
different. Yes, definitely when we have a different location. And that's the manifestation that I'm bringing, Dan, is exactly what you're saying, is to have that life. Unfortunately, it won't be at this location. Or maybe it will. Maybe we'll get a
Well,
fence.
you can save his poo from your yard, take it out there, spread it around.
I'm down with
Where there's a will, there's a way.
spread the poo all over out there. Yeah.
That really deters them. Because it's a canine animal. So
Yeah, dude, totally. I could see that. And he there's already canine poo out there. I'm curious.
Oh,
I think it's coyote.
probably.
It could be a neighbor's dog, but I think it's coyote just because of I've found deer skeletons already like around the border of my property a couple times, and I hear them all the time at nighttime, just yapping away. Again, could be neighbors' dogs, but it sure sound like coyotes.
Just be kids.
Fucking 11-year-old.
Got little kids running around shitting all over your property.
That could be shitting. Oh, the shitting on the property, not yet. Yeah. That could be the guy. It could be the guy who harvested the.
Oh, he's talking about the noise.
Yeah, I think let's go with both. I like both now.
The same person.
That's fucking terrible that you don't even see toilet paper though. That's gross.
Rudy, dude. He uses
That's so
uses
gross.
deer hide.
Sanitary.
He's got that deer hide. He uses that to wipe his butt.
Too funny.
No, we all suffer from this one. It's just, having so many tasks. For weeks now, I've been like, oh, this is going to be the day that I'm going to like get out there with the saw and start cleaning up the perimeter of the yard and getting I got a good 10 feet of, perimeter that I can clear from just brush and stuff. There's a nice little T-post fence tucked in all of those autumn olives and like fucking whatever else is in there, pine trees and shit just growing, taking away 10 feet of my yard that I'm trying to take back. And I'm like, go out there and do your grow work. Today was buck everything down. It was beautiful. Sunshine.
What's a nice day today?
Beautiful day. It would have been a good day to chop down stuff. But all I did today was just stare at the giant and move wood chips. It would have been a great day to move wood chips. Maybe lay down a black tarp. Didn't do that. Oh, that's what I wanted to talk about, that silage tarp. Is I know a lot of people use panda film. Save the green tax and just get silage tarp. It's the same thing. Pretty sure that panda film is taxed more than what you're going to pay for silage tarp. You can get panda film in smaller sections though, but I'm pretty sure that it's a lot more expensive than silage. Silage char's not cheap as it is, but it's a 6 mil. Pandafilm might be. Pandafilm specifically might be 5 mil. Might be thicker stuff. I don't know, but you can get 5 or thinner. What is it? No, I think 8 mil. You can get 8 mil silage sharp as well. Pandafilm might be 7 or 8 mil. Something like that. I could be wrong.
No idea.
But either way, you can save the green tax, get silage sharp.
That's cool. You're just using that to burn off the vegetation that's there.
Yeah, not so much burn it, but less suffocate it.
I see. So it's not a solar thing.
Check this out.
Solarizing, yeah. You want to use maybe like clear for solarizing, and you do that, and that's a much faster. It's a much faster process.
But then you burn off the microbes in that first part.
It burns the microbes, yeah. At least
Dude, this is a good idea here.
What's that?
It's a little different side. I was looking at anti-deer stuff.
Anti-deer.
Anti-deer.
Look at this little bed.
That's a good
keyhole gardening, they call
And
that.
you can make it as long as you want. You just make the aisle longer. You push the aisle back.
Yeah, you pay $10,000 in lumber.
Yeah,
Yeah,
and
you
then
get
another
some used
$5,000 in soil.
for real, dude. Because like you
But it's in the ground. You can just use the ground.
you almost need to use cedar, unless
Yeah.
replace it every. You might get it.
No, you can make that L design. You could do that keyhole design with just the fence, on the ground.
That's what I'm saying. You could you could use the ground, make the keyhole design. That's a good way to call it, keyhole. But yeah, and then it's got a little gate. Might do that. Might plan for that. You'll want to know what it's priced if they send it to you in a box.
What about some
This is
T-posts?
off of some website.
So at the end, you can make it. You could extend. So instead of having just the walkway straight in, but you could extend it this way too. Make like a T.
Oh yeah, yeah. If I gotta see where I want to put it. Maybe I'll just put it in the middle there. Now that the soil's been untouched for a year.
You guys
So
know
go in there and mow that T in. Then you can see what it looks like.
Yeah. Say what, Red?
Well, I was just gonna say, depending on how much size you need to make. If you're just looking for like a little 10x10 or something, that's probably perfect.
I mean, yeah, I don't need too many potatoes.
If you want to go bigger, you could always just
You like fries, bro. You need a lot of potatoes.
How long does a potato stay good for?
Pretty. You can store them well in a basement, cool basement, and they'll store all winter long, man.
Yeah.
Oh, true. Well then, yeah, I do need a lot, but yep.
Potatoes are fun to grow. They're so fun to grow.
We used to have a couple of them potato bags where the sides peel down and you could pull your tubulars from there.
Oh yeah.
You do it with smart pots.
I know what you're talking about. I think my mom had one of those.
You do it with smart pots and then just chop the plant when it's time to harvest and then just dump the smart pot.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
But you can do it right in the ground. That's what I grow them right in the ground. I did that last year. I like that. I'm gonna do it again this year. I'm gonna do more.
I like them redskin potatoes.
I did the purple ones. Oh, those were good.
I'm gonna try them all, and then I gotta really experiment with batter. What I'm gonna or cake them with.
What do you mean?
You take the potato, you peel it, because I don't want any of that skin.
What?
Yeah. I'm gonna
Okay.
peel it. I'm trying to make my own healthy McDonald's.
I got
Okay. All right.
And so you peel that. I gotta find the right cutter because I like skinny fries. So I gotta find one that does the right cut.
That should be
Right.
easy.
Yep.
They're like pretzels.
And then you gotta batter them. You do a little like.
No.
Have
That's
you been to Clayvon's?
no.
Have you been to Clayvon's with me, Spartan?
Well,
I've
Those
been
are
to
battered.
Clayvon's.
Those are
McDonald's
battered
don't
fries.
batter their fries, bro.
I know, but I'm whatever. You'll see when you come to my house one day. I go,
I know what you're talking
here's
about.
some custom French fries, battered. Like diner fries. Diner fries have a little something on them. Those aren't. I don't know what
I
it
bet you
is.
they would be good.
Like a
A
steak
little crunch.
steak.
Yeah, that's what makes it crunchy. Yeah.
Yeah.
Steak fries are thick, but I can do them.
You're adding the gluten. You're adding the gluten, or are you using?
Well, see, that's my goal. Maybe I have enough land right now. I think for myself, I could grow enough wheat to process myself to make my own bread or things like flour. Therefore, there
You
is
need a
a.
mill.
I'll tell you
Oh,
what.
well, I
Emily,
guess that's the gluten. I was thinking glyphosate. Sorry, but
that's the gluten. Gluten's just a protein in the grain.
yeah, I don't mind gluten, but that's why I want to do the wheat though. Is that way I know. Cause tell me where you can go buy flour that says no glyphosate. I don't know where.
I don't know why either.
And
But
you know they're not using good flour to make any breads these days, unless you know.
I know someone who is making some good bread.
Well,
these
other than
days.
yeah. Shout out to Anything Grows. Spartan came back with a platter of bagels. I put them in the fridge.
Okay, I didn't do that.
I think they'll keep longer, and I toast them anyways.
I put mine right on the counter, and they're so soft and good and fucking.
Well,
I've
there's
already,
like 12 of them, so like that's
yeah, I'm down to 3 left. That's how many I have.
yeah.
Baked. You got to find the flour that's not wheat, and it won't have glyphosate.
What else is flour from?
Oh, anything. You can have hemp.
Yeah,
Hemp
yeah.
flour? That'd be
Yeah.
sick. Hemp
Yeah.
sourdough bread.
Sure.
Ooh.
Let's see. Almond flour is the popular one. Chickpea.
Oh, okay.
Popular one.
Do they taste, or are they still just flour?
No, they'd definitely be different.
Okay.
I don't think that much. I've tried them all. We eat them all. I don't eat.
I have to try them though.
I haven't eaten wheat in a really long time, and we eat bread and we eat everything. Wheat is a product of industrialization. Wheat's not a product of it's not an old agricultural crop. They've been growing many different grains over the millennia, not just wheat. Wheat's a product of abundant yields and low costs, and you can dry it in a silo and fucking plow it with a reaper, and there's mechanized, so they stick to one kind of grain for conventional agriculture, and all the cracker companies and bread companies and cereal companies use that rather than the others. That's really just all it is. It's capitalism.
There's good wheat being out there too. There's people, organic farmers growing wheat that's totally cool and good. And
they still still get the gluten unless they're.
What's wrong with gluten? Gluten is just a protein.
There's a lot wrong.
Some people are sensitive to it, but it's not bad.
A lot of people are sensitive to it. A lot of people.
Well, I think people are more sensitive to glyphosate, and that's really not really a gluten sensitivity. It's more glyphosate sensitivity that's found in gluten.
Well, I think they have that too. Gluten is certainly inflammation enhancing in just about everybody. It's not just some people. I mean, you can have celiac disease, and then you can have very interrupted digestive and all kinds of stuff with it. But gluten can cause all kinds of. It's not just stomach sensitivity. It can cause inflammation, headaches. I mean, it can cause other diseases and just from the inflammation and stuff like that. But it's gluten itself is a product of industrialization. Gluten wasn't necessarily inbred 100 years ago. Our ancestors weren't eating gluten. Gluten's a new issue, very similar to like food dyes and shit like that. And gluten's a very similar thing because we used to ferment our grain in the field before consuming it. Nowadays it gets tossed into a silo immediately after. It's kind of like the weed industry. We used to dry and cure our weed. Now they just I don't know, whatever they do with it. Some companies are freeze drying it, or some companies are just however fast they can get into market. They put it in high temperature drying systems and whatever they're doing. That's what they're doing with wheat. They used to dry it in the field, so it would go through the cold nights and wet, dewy nights, and it would get damp at night, and it would grow fungus. And we didn't have the FDA to test for the molds, and we would eat fermented grain on a regular basis, and it just fermenting the grain would remove the protein of gluten. So today, because we have the reaper, which cuts the grain, and then the silo, which heats the grain, and it doesn't go through that fermentation process. It goes through a sterilization processed, and the gluten remains. And then it's more an issue of, and yeah, I'm sure a lot of people like don't react to it, right? They don't have an issue to it. At least they don't yet, or whatever. Metabolites, our bodies change all the time. But the thing is it is more of a modern issue. So it's like,
I think it's a modern issue because I think it's not gluten, because gluten has been in wheat forever. Gluten has been in rye forever. It's just a protein in the grain. And I think it's what we spray on these grains, and people are pointing the finger at the wrong thing. I think there are some people that are, I'm saying outside of, there are some people that are sensitive to gluten for sure. But that's not a common thing. It's not a super common thing. Most people, gluten is fine.
I'm looking at peanuts now.
What about growing peanuts? I don't know if they grow.
I don't know if you could grow them here. We're not like Georgia. I know Georgia's a big peanut state.
Well, that's a way different zone.
That's what I'm saying. That's a way different zone. Can't grow peanuts in Michigan.
You could if you had maybe what do you call it?
Flower room too.
Yeah, that'd do it.
If we're growing anything indoor that's a nut, it's gonna be a pistachio. When pistachio pound prices go to like $7,000 in the future,
an actual tree.
Oh yeah, you just go in. This is my organic.
No, we'll have to get Red in there doing his bonsai tech on there. We'll just have like rows of fucking little mini pistachio trees.
I just had a crazy idea. If you were the best bonsai, you could literally make multi-level stairs with the tree to go to a second level to harvest more pistachios.
That would be dope.
I just smoked a bowl of Faso, so.
Can you grow pistachio trees up here?
No, they sell them on Stark Bros. $100 for a male pistachio tree, which is what you want for nuts. And
that's easy one to remember, man.
Yeah, I know. I thought that, and it's $100, so that's not that bad. But it's zone 8 to 10, and we're zone 6A. They said.
Just wait 10 years. We might be up to 8 by 10.
Yeah, hey, yeah. I think it's about the dryness too. When I looked a long time ago, but.
So you just start looking at the different nuts that you like to eat, and now you're looking for the tree and seeing if it grows here. Walnuts definitely. Yeah. Michigan.
Oh
definitely.
yeah, walnuts, pecans. There's a whole. If you go to Stark Bros.
I call them pecans. What did you call them?
Pecans.
Okay, I've heard that.
You can say pecans.
It's not. No. I heard
you say pecans.
Okay, that was the way I thought you said.
Give me pecan pie. Something like that. But
ooh, pecan pie. Oh my god, I love that.
If you go to Stark Bros at the top, you can click shop by state. I click Michigan, then it goes popular fruit trees, popular plants.
Chestnut. I bet you can grow chestnut.
It's the top 6 for this site is all-in-one almond.
Almond.
It's called Avalon pecan.
Pecan.
Yeah, a black walnut.
Yeah.
Then another almond called a Bonnie almond.
I bet you that black walnut is expensive.
It's $47.99 for a 10-pack of whatever.
Oh, 10.
I guess seeds. Seedlings. It says seedlings. Another Cotto pecan, and then a Colby pecan, and that's what you got.
Love me some pecans.
For Michigan, they recommend.
Some
other trees? Cool ones.
You can do other fruits besides apples. You can do like cherries and pears. Those are all native.
I don't really eat those, so no. The only thing I would want a cherry tree for is making Shirley Temples. That'd be pretty sweet. Make your a natural Shirley Temple. Some cherry juice.
If you don't eat cherries, though, you said.
Pears are the best.
But I like putting cherry juice into my Sprite and making a Shirley Temple. That's what I'm talking about.
Right. You guys ever have an Asian pear?
I haven't had one. No.
Oh my god.
The Anjou pear is on here. Maybe that's the same thing.
Will that grow? I mean, I know Michigan grows a lot of pears with it.
Yeah, it says there's pears on the top 6 fruit trees.
They gave us a couple. I actually have a couple seeds right in front of me.
Look, yeah, and this one too, Red. The first one I didn't read it. 20th century Asian pear. It's the first one for Michigan.
so far.
As far as fruit trees.
Pears are my favorite.
Peaches.
I love pears too. I grew up and we had 2 pear trees, we had 2 apple trees, and a cherry tree.
The green pears are good. What is it? The Barlet.
That's what we had as a green. Ours were the green. They're kind of thick. The skins were pretty thick.
Yeah, I really and they tend to fall. They're actually more of a yellow pear. You know what I mean? You tend to pick them when they're green because they tend to fall and the bees and
the bees get them. Oh my god, so many bees.
Or they rot on the tree. But when you can get them yellow, dude, they're just so fucking. I don't know.
Better than what you're gonna find at the store by a mile.
Delectable. I don't know that word. What's the word? Delectable or
Delectable.
I think that's it.
Well, dude, they're just
Something like tasty as fuck.
just like the
Yeah, that's delectable.
It's like it's super good, but in your back of your mind, you know, one more day and it would be bad.
Yeah. Almost looking like a rotten banana. Like it's starting to get little dark spots on it and stuff like that. But it's it's not bad. And there might be a bee in the top or something like that. You know, fuck around, get that fucker out of there, rip the hole out, and just go to town. And I mean, it just juices your face. And
it's so soft, it's easy to get that little hole out of that bee. You rip it out with your knife.
Oh my god, I love it.
So juicy.
So in the red one, I like a red and the red and brown pears.
I haven't had those.
Those are like even better. They're even better. And then, like I said, the Asian pear is even better, man. So, like, dude, the pear is just. And I was a big fan of starfruit for a long time, but I can't grow starfruit here yet, at least, until they come up with a hardy varietal or we become Zone 10. So 2050, I'm growing starfruit.
I think I'm gonna put in some blueberries and maybe some raspberries this year. I'll have to get those going. More berries in my life.
I like me some raspberries. Those are good.
Yeah, I love raspberries too. I love the yellow ones, the golds.
Oh, yeah.
They're so good.
Today, the states of California, Arizona, and New Mexico represent 100% of the U.S. commercial pistachio production. You gotta be dry as fuck.
Dry as hell. Yeah.
Yeah, that sucks. Well, I don't think we'll ever be that because of the Great Lakes.
Yeah, I think that's probably fair.
What about peanuts?
Yeah, I think we might be able to grow peanuts. I'm not sure.
I think it said we could.
I think
Let me
Is
go
that
back.
in the ground?
But is it actually a nut? It's like
No, it's a legume. I think
like
it's more like a legume, like a bean.
bean.
Yeah.
The bean. The plant grows like a bean.
Yeah. All the nuts are like under the ground,
They're under the ground.
like root nodules.
With those, you gotta be careful with what you're split where you're getting those, especially conventional ones. They're fucking
Oh yeah.
terrible. That's as bad as potatoes.
Potato.
Potato.
Said, it says Michigan peanuts will grow in Michigan if started early enough. They're rarely difficult to grow.
Rarely difficult. Okay, I like that. That's
Yeah,
a weird way to
sounds
say
good.
that.
I had to read it 3 times because I'm like, what do you mean difficult? My eyes went to difficult. I was like, difficult? And so, but that's what this one site says.
What's the growth? What's the seasonality of it? Is it
I love how no matter what you search in today's days, you're gonna find one that's at least. Is it really illegal to grow peanuts in Michigan? And it's like,
Illegal.
no, it's not. Let's see.
That's
This guy
cool.
say he grew some peanuts for the first time on Reddit. Harvested them yesterday. After roasting and salting them, they were delicious. Michigan Zone 6.
Okay.
Cool. He's got pictures of them. I'm gonna put this up, even if we get.
Are they in the ground or in pots?
Oh, they're on the table.
Oh, I thought you had the plant pictures. Okay.
No, it's just this guy.
Daddy Red, did you see that? Look at that salt
That's
shaker.
good.
I feel like we had that same salt shaker when I was a kid. No, maybe
Those are good looking peanuts,
I don't
dude.
know what that white part underneath it is, but we had one similar to that.
I might try some peanuts then, but there was no peanut plants on Stark Bros. I don't know where you get them. Do you just plant a peanut?
If you're interested in peanuts, look up George Washington Carver.
Yeah, I know the history of peanuts.
Oh, you do you?
Yeah, but
What is the
it
history
looks
of
like
peanuts? I'm
looks like
interested.
what do you mean the history of peanuts? George Washington Carver, whatever that guy made the peanuts.
He did.
He made peanut butter
He did.
out of peanuts. What do you mean?
I just bought some peanut butter today.
Look at these. This is how they sell them. What kind did you get, Dan? I'm gonna put you on the spot.
Peter Pan.
Peter Pan.
That's a
Peter
good.
Pan.
That's a
Oh,
good
no, we
picture
got
there.
Jeff. My bad, we got Jeff.
Jeff,
Oh,
there you
okay.
go. There
I
we
was
go.
gonna say, what in
Choosy
the
mouse.
flippin' fluck? Peter
Choosy
Pan's
mouse.
the worst. Look
Not
at
the
this. Is how
worst.
they sell. This is how they sell peanuts to plant, I guess. And they got a little flour.
Oh,
They're
cool.
pretty.
I've never seen them. Yeah, so that's cool.
I
It's
like
like you get a packet or an ounce for $10,
that. Man, those
$4.
prices. Look at those.
I know, like a
Like
pound,
It's like dispo prices, man.
$50
Michigan,
for a pound. Jesus, you might as well just go to the store and buy peanuts and get the glyphosate.
Get the GMO peanut.
Yeah. No, but we once bought raw pistachios and tried to salt them and roast them ourselves in an oven. They were okay, but like the problem was, I think you need a nice fine ass salt, like really really fine grade salt that just sticks, because there'd be ones that you got salt on and you'd be like, that's all right, and then the ones with that the salt just didn't stick, you're like, oh, that was a raw pistachio.
You got to use the popcorn salt.
So did you really
That's
like them?
probably, see, I've never even thought about that popcorn salt. That's probably a better one, yeah.
So did you even like the nut, or was it just the salt that you liked? Maybe you should.
I
grow,
love the pistachio once
maybe
you
you
have
should grow some salt.
That's
Maybe-
yeah, but that's like saying, do you just eat mashed potatoes with nothing in it? You just,
Yeah. I have. I think it's fine.
But when you have a choice, don't you put some salt and pepper or something?
Yeah.
You got some flavor. That's what I'm
I
saying.
think that's an
Usually butter.
ingredient
Well,
to the mashed potatoes.
We'll
Usually some garlic and some
go down
butter.
to the sea
alright.
with some buckets, and we'll bring our buckets of water home from the sea.
Hey,
We'll boil down some.
that'd be really cool to do. We can probably just order some water from the sea.
Let's go to the sea.
You can just get some of your C90 and mix it in water, and that's pretty much seawater. That's just.
I tell you what, Red. I tell you what.
But then we gotta
We can use my water change water from the tanks. Boil that off. We'll have to filter it.
Oh yuck!
do the salt from the ice cream store with like the added beneficials.
Yeah. Yep. It's good for you.
Extra phosphates and
Yeah, but they're not glyphosate.
not glyphosate.
They're just regular phosphates.
Regular good old phosphates.
That's how they should have been from the start. Phosphates. So
It's
let's
wild
see.
how it's wild. Look at those blueberries. That's what's up right there.
Mhm.
I love blueberries.
You guys made me hungry. I had to go.
I know I'm starving. I want to go like make one of those bagels. I'll wait till
No,
the end
that's
of the
cute.
show.
It's kind of wild that the class action lawsuit against Roundup
That's it.
there, like someone was awarded fucking what was it like
Tip of the century. Sorry, Red.
no, it's okay. Someone was awarded like
Makes so
$3
much
billion
sense.
or some crazy shit. It was like her and her husband, like it was like a family, like both each were like it was like almost like a $7 billion payout or something. And they're still rolling, they're still going, and this shit's still on the shelves. You know,
I can't
For
believe
what?
that
For
either.
what?
It drives me nuts.
Roundup.
Well, what?
They've paid out
Oh, Roundup. Yeah.
like tens of billions of dollars.
Like you
Well,
can literally.
there's that. I'm gonna find it. There's that Netflix documentary on food that kind of everyone skipped over. But there's a guy that's like, he's literally. It's like I got like 30 active lawsuits right now against the FDA for shit like that, and just all
Well, it's
kinds of shit.
straight up banned in Europe. I mean, most of Europe, if not all of Europe, straight up banned. Not even allowed on the shelves, and we're still fucking around with it on the shelves. Like you can go to the store and buy it.
Well, that's why I want to make my own French fries because it annoys me that when you go to McDonald's, it's like the first ingredient is a potato or
If you go to any of those,
And even if it were potato, it's a glyphosate. You know, it's a sprayed ass potato.
that's what
So,
McDonald's potatoes are the like one of the most toxic.
it's called Poisoned. The Dirty Truth About Your Food on Netflix.
More toxic.
And there's a guy that just is. He's constantly been suing our government on behalf of people that have been, like how they regulate the lettuce industry next to the cattle industry. You just need like basically a road's worth of distance, and then there's a between your lettuce that they send to the store and a fucking cow's what do they call them, the shit pool where they put all the shit. And so like he's like, yeah, there's fucking E. coli on everything. It's I mean, don't watch it if you're gonna go eat something, but
I don't even want to get into it.
it's a good one. Yeah, we can do that tomorrow.
There's a nice callback in the chat, though. I gotta shout out Baldy's Buds for saying, "What's Nut Tree 420 think about peanuts?" He goes, "Seems like he should have an opinion, hence his name."
That's true.
At least one of the nut trees that we spoke about.
Do tell.
Oh yeah, nuts are very good. They're nutritious in value.
Right now I'm picturing the peanut guy with the monocle and the hat behind Troy's camera with a gun pointed at him and say, "Start talking good about nuts."
Good about nuts.
You better say something nice.
The sales have been down since COVID. I swear to God, Nut Tree.
So, for those that you don't know, my last name is Nussbaum, which means nut tree. Actually, for all those, anyways, that's part of
origin.
Part of my last
I
name
didn't know
is
that it meant that.
That's one of the So, nut tree is German for Nussbaum. O Tannenbaum is Christmas tree. So, but yeah. I like nuts of all varieties, and like you said,
especially the ones that form on trees.
Talk about nuts. I don't know.
Time to change the topic now. I think
he's not partial to them root nuts.
What's your favorite though? What's your favorite?
My favorite
of all of the varieties. What is your favorite?
Pecans. I like pecan ice cream.
Oh, pecans. Okay.
Pecan, yeah, anything pecan. But
I'm not a fan of nuts in my ice cream.
Walnuts are good.
Pecan ice cream is good.
Yeah.
Like they do that pistachio ice cream.
That's good shit too.
That's good shit too.
I don't like it.
Yeah.
More for us.
You know what? Yeah, that's fine because that means more. Like right now, I'm thinking about like a cookies and cream ice cream would be great right now, or maybe a cookie dough.
How could you think?
I don't like the what do they call those? The macadamia, not the macadamium. The it's like the Brazil nut.
You don't like the Brazil nut?
I don't think I like.
Aren't they expensive as shit
They're
though?
just
big. They're big.
They just work. They're kind of a bitter nut.
Yeah.
I like the mixed nuts. That's pretty cool to try all of them, or at least a lot of them.
I really like making the classic peanuts mixed with M&Ms.
So mixed with what variety of M&M?
Just regular M&Ms. You put peanuts with regular M&Ms.
Why wouldn't you get a peanut M&M?
I've explained this a million times.
Okay, let's spend $1 million plus one.
The peanuts that Mars buys and puts in their peanut M&Ms are completely subpar to, like, say, your Planters peanut.
Oh, I did not know we were talking to a
disgusting.
peanut fucking connoisseur. I am sorry.
So, I just get my own peanuts. I mix them with M&Ms, and you get at my own ratio too.
Did you say peanuts? Is that what you said? Okay.
Yeah, I'll go get I'll go get a bottle of Planters salted. You could, even if you're into it, what are they called? They're like honey roasted or something like that. They're different flavors of peanuts.
I like what Dan's thinking over here.
These are freeze-dried caramel M&Ms.
Okay.
Caramel.
Stupid good.
Nice.
Looks like an everlasting gobstopper.
No, they swell up pretty big.
Are they hard to eat? Like when you eat them, are they hard?
No, they're light and fluffy. The caramel blows up, and
Nice.
Yeah, they're
Is it
They're
because it's sugar? Does the
delicious.
sugar do that?
What's that?
Notice that like the Jolly Ranchers do that. Is that what sugar
You want
does?
some Jolly? Yes.
Does sugar do the explosion thing?
Yeah.
He's gonna go get more. He's got.
Oh, you guys got to see the Jolly Ranchers. It's super cool.
I wonder if he's got a blue raz.
Or the Skittles.
I love the blue
Those are
raz. Skittles are banned in several countries. They're disgusting.
Funny too, because like you'll bite into it.
It's true. I don't fuck with those Skittles. Once I saw that, I don't fuck with Skittles now.
It was like titanium or something in them.
It's in the red, I think it was. They had the issue with the guy.
Dan, it reminds me of.
What you got there, Dan? What is that?
These are Jolly Ranchers.
It reminds me of cotton candy, but instead of the cotton candy melting in your mouth, it makes your teeth stick together. You know what I mean? It's like, ooh, it melts, and then all of a sudden you're like, oh wait, it's your Jolly Rancher. So your teeth are like stuck together.
It's an explosion of flavor.
They super glue.
It kind of like dusts in your mouth,
Right?
And kind of take your breath away.
Yeah, just like it melts like cotton candy, but right into its like caramel like structure. It's like heavy glass like structure. You know what I mean? And like
Yeah, the saltwater taffy is really, really good to freeze dry. That also expands and becomes real light and airy.
ooh, taffy sounds really good.
Yeah.
So if you can do taffy, what about
What about a Pez?
chocolate, like fudge or any
Chocolate's
my
hard
bad.
because it has a lot of oils in it, so it doesn't want to freeze dry.
Okay. So this is something that's high in sugar specifically, in the sugar.
No, not so much that. Starches don't freeze dry well. Heavy oils don't freeze dry well. A lot of this, basically, you could do this with a vacuum oven, really. Mainly,
Fruits.
it's just
I tell you, fruits
warming
are.
them up and putting a vacuum to it. What's that?
I'd be doing all kinds of fruits, like slices of fruits.
Yeah.
Or,
Yeah, these are a quick turnaround. It takes about 3 to 4 hours to do the candy because there's not a lot of moisture in these. It takes about 24 to 48 hours to do fruits and vegetables because they have moisture content.
And what about other things that don't have a lot of moisture, like nuts?
Or Pez?
I don't think you need to freeze dry nuts because they're already shelf
They're
stable.
already going to be shelf stable and dry, but they're not going to like do anything cool like candy.
I don't think they will.
Because like it's like
You
candy.
freeze dry water, and then you
Candy
just end up with an empty
but
tray.
you're making it so much cooler by like freeze drying it. You're like turning the candy into like something totally different.
Some chocolates freeze dry, but it's like the chocolate melts and then you cool it back down and then the chocolate solidifies again and then whatever it was wrapped around. Twix do really well. Snickers do well. I hear Three Musketeers do well.
Okay. So what happens with the caramel inside the Snickers? Does it?
It blows up like this does.
Okay, so it's just
Milk
cracked.
duds are crazy, man. They look huge. They look like chicken nuggets, but they taste like milk duds.
What about a chicken nugget?
You could freeze dry a chicken nugget. You could freeze dry a hamburger. You can freeze dry raw meat.
Raw meat. Oh, raw meat.
Yeah. You can freeze dry raw meat, make it shelf stable with the proper storage equipment for up to 25 years.
Nice.
And maintain 98% of its nutritional value. That's the
people in the
thing
back-
about the freeze drying.
I see him in the back row waving. What was that shelf life again?
25 years.
Years.
Yes.
Years.
But that's with an oxygen absorber.
Human
in the,
years.
Vacuum sealed Mylar bags.
Vacuum seal Mylar. Give it a oxygen and what maybe a desiccant as well, or just something like something like that.
you've had that newer now unit for a while. Are you liking it better than the Harvest Rights or comparable, or what's your verdict?
We're only running food in the Stay Fresh currently. And it's by far a superior machine. It has a probe in it that you can put in your food, and the machine will stop when it hits its set point of moisture content. Where the Harvest Right, you kind of just run a cycle, and then you got to check and see if it's done. And if it's not done, you got to add more dry time. This is a lot more smarter machine. I believe the components are a lot better built. It's just a better machine in my opinion. But
Yeah, it sounds way the hell better. Just having that fucking being able to keep running until it's done instead of having to keep checking on it.
yeah, it has a probe, and you don't have to run that. You can choose to just set up and run it manually if you want. But it has a really user-friendly board to walk you through all the steps of freeze drying. Just the placement of their vacuum tubes in a different location of the chamber, which creates a better vacuum versus harvest rate. Little things like that. Their drainage line is a solid welded copper pipe versus harvest rate's just a little cheap old compression line. It's just little things that make a difference, though. Now, mind you, I fixed my harvest rate and it's running fine, and it's actually working way better than it had before I had it fixed.
Nice. So maybe it was a little screwed up from the get then.
It probably could have been, maybe. Who knows? We had it 3 years before it really started messing up. So I wasn't one of them unfortunate people from Harvest Right who got their machine and it broke upon delivery, like our friend Joe Groves. He had a bad situation, but they took care of him, shipped him on another one. He had another one within a few weeks. They told him to keep that old one for parts. So crazy, but
that's cool.
Yeah,
especially for Dro, somebody like him, he'll use it for parts.
Oh, for sure, and modify it to do something else. You never know.
Yeah.
What do you got next coming on the rosin block there, Dan?
Let's see. We just did a little personal mix of some tsunami and blueberry muffin mix. That turned out pretty good. It's a real fruity blueberry nose up front, and then it's got this weird funk to it, and then it's like a rotten fruit on the back end. So it's got a whole trifecta thing going on.
Yeah.
That's just a one-time deal. I had a pheno of the tsunami I thought would do well, and we kind of threw it in, just wanted to see what it was going to wash like. And then it wasn't enough to press on its own, so we kind of just blended them together, made the two. But Primal Punch is coming up for me next. Big run of Primal Punch. Nothing special. We got chem cookies coming up. I got some cherry paloma. We're going to do the cherry paloma through the press. I think that's going to be a great contender. It's got the trichome structure I like, and it's got a really good terp profile, so it should do good.
We get anybody going to the Fledge? Is it the Fledge this weekend for Third Eye?
I think the second. I think it's March 2nd is their next one, right, Rad?
Yeah, we will be there on March 2nd. We will be celebrating Becca's birthday.
Oh, it's coming up weekend, I mean.
Yeah, this coming weekend. So 6 days now. Tomorrow 5. Ugh. We don't have anything trimmed yet. So we got all that to do this week. As always, we trim to order usually. Yeah, we don't trim stuff at bulk. And then next round, I had a train of thought. Let me see here. The Fledge. So there's actually 3 dates in March. And I'd have to go searching through my phone to get them all. The next one is the 2nd. I know there's one on the 23rd. That might be the last one in March, which would be a couple days after my birthday. So both Becca and I would be celebrating our birthdays this month. But most importantly, come out to the Fledge on Saturday. And Dan, did you say you were going to be there Saturday?
No, I'm not going to be vending at the 2nd. I don't believe so.
Will you be out at any of them in March?
Yeah, we'll definitely make a trip down.
Sweet.
I think we're planning something around one weekend there. I think we had said something.
And then there are no Third Eye Craft Affairs yet to be scheduled in April, but there are 3 again in May. And then in April, the Hash Bash in Ann Arbor. I believe Fergroli is doing the Hash Bash Cup at the Wyndham Hotel. And we will probably be bopping around Ann Arbor and on the Diag and probably at the Wyndham Hotel bopping around that weekend as well.
Yeah, that's a busy place, that hotel, man.
Ann Arbor gets very busy that weekend. It's pretty wild. That hotel is insane.
Yeah, it's
Dude, it's like shoulder to shoulder in some places.
Shoulder.
last year we kind of took over that bar section. I think remember, Red, we kind of everybody took over that, and it was really nice, actually.
That was nice to have a little spot to throw stuff, and it just crashed. And
yeah, people weren't bumping into you. We had nice seats.
Yeah, the main atrium of that place is usually not as crowded during the day, right? And then it's really the room where the vendors are that just gets you're packed in there like sardines, and not like the vendors are, but it's just that there's just so many people in that room with the looking at all the tables that just a line.
They definitely stack them in there like cordwood.
Yep. Yeah, I mean, there's a few feet between tables, but if you're standing here looking at a table, there's somebody to your back standing there looking at a table behind you, and then there's people trying to walk between you, and it's tight.
It is.
So
it reminds me of the earlier venues, when they used to all be crowded like that.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's a great, probably our biggest event we have in Michigan.
I like hanging out on the Diag, hanging out in the back.
I mean, heck, they have Mendo Dope Boys there. A lot of big name celebrities.
I like going to the Diag. I like the Hash Bash there, and the Monroe Street Fair I could kind of start to not really care too much about, and honestly, even the Cup I could kind of not care too much about anymore. But I still like definitely going out to the Diag and hanging out.
The Monroe Street Fair has become corporate. I mean, you get people that are all hanging out there, and I don't know. Maybe they see around the whole corporate side of it, but something a part of it. Just for me, it's just I just can't support. I don't know. It's.
I'll still walk down there though. Seed Cellar will be there. I'll stop, check out their booth. Winewood will have a booth there, I'm sure. I'll check out the good. There's good people out there in the metric world too. So I would support those businesses for sure.
Yeah, I don't know, man. It's not even the metric thing for me, or it's just so different. It's just
it's definitely not the Hash Bash of the 90s.
It's just it's difficult to I don't know.
Main thing is to see all you guys.
That's why I just
hang out and see everybody.
Hang out, and I'll be wherever everybody else is at. So.
Then in June we got Gems and Genetics. That's gonna be fun.
June Gems and Genetics.
Mendo Dope's coming to that too. They're gonna be performing there.
I did see that.
That's gonna be a good one.
Cool.
Cool.
So they have Mendo Dope and they have a Grateful Dead cover band.
Yeah.
High Rise.
The weekend event, so maybe it'll be the two different. There's probably two different headliners. I'm assuming.
Yeah, it might be.
What weekend is that?
June 6th and 7th. June 6th, 7th, and 8th.
I think you're right. Let me look. I think I got it.
Always 6th, 7th, and 8th, but vending's not on the last day. It's vending is always Friday, Saturday, and then Sunday.
It's 7, 8, 9.
Okay, so 7th and the 8th would be days where vendors will be set up, and then the 9th is a pack up.
Half a day.
Pack up, and it's a half day. You ain't gotta go home, but you gotta get the hell out of here type of day. Help clean up. They don't really boot anybody out. You can kind of kick it and slowly clean up your campsite, but there's not going to be a lot of people there to answer questions or anything. A lot of the workers and staff are usually all cleaning up and out of there. So, but it's a great.
I think it's gonna be a good turnout, man. He keeps the Jumps and Gen X Instagram page keeps sharing like a screen grab of his event that he's got on. I think it's Eventbrite or something, but it said that, you know, it shows so many people are going and so many people are interested, and he was like, so he got 100 people already saying they're going, and then it was like, I don't know, 300-400 interested. I was like, damn.
And Sarn's Resort is already like booked out. Like there's already a slew of, let's just say, regular summer homies, you know, like people who live there in the summertime basically. And I don't know what the number is, but it's more than a couple dozen, more than a few dozen. Like it's a lot of people, you know. It's like there's a handful of little cabins on the property. It's a private resort, and they have cabins, they have trailer sites, so people live there in the summertime. They rent a trailer site for the summer and they live there. It's that type of place. And there's like a handful of these little trailer, you know, like parks, and then a handful of little cabin parks, and then there's the area where is the camping park, you know, so to speak. And they have a pavilion and a building and amenities and facilities and all that. But the facilities, you know, if I'm talking about restrooms and stuff, is, I don't know, not a long walk, few hundred yards away. If you want to jump in your car and drive over there, you can take a shower. They have that stuff there, but they also have porta potties right on site, you know, right by where all the vending and everything is. So, but yeah, they have everything. It's fucking sweet. I like Sarn's Resort. It's fun. All the people that come through are old hippies that have been going to Sarn's Resort for fucking 4 or 5 decades, you know. Cool people. So on top that I'd say would probably be on top of the event, and then whoever else just from local word of mouth.
So yeah, you got that in what, June? June.
9th.
We're hoping to have some more flavors by then too. At least of rosin, maybe some cuts, but
I think all of us have been sharing that on our social media. So just check out any of our social medias, find out when and where that's going to be at. Obviously, just check out Gems and Genetics. One of these weeks, we'll get him on. We can talk about it. Hopefully, it's before the event. And then,
yeah. Yeah, so thanks for hanging, everyone. We got late session tomorrow at 10. And other than that, keep smoking, keep growing.
Keep growing, everybody.
Have a good
Peace.
night.